Hello. First of all, I have to tell you, I'm heavily jet-lagged, which will probably produce amazing things that I say and that I won't remember that I have said them afterwards. And I think I need a microphone because I'm one of those people who has to actually move the body continuously while I think and do, which is often a little bit irritating. So, who of you here in the room has been in anything that some of you might call a sprint in the last week? Okay. So for some of you, that's like being in a sprint of a like agile Scrum something process, and others have been hopefully in a sprint around hopefully Tiergarten to keep them self-exercised, right? So now why I'm starting with this is I really love Birgit's notion of the jump, because we are always like talking about sprinting. And the jump really embodies something very, very important. That was one of the common threads that I heard, and that's about being human. And being human means being physical. And actually, one of the things that I feel very strongly about in my teaching practice is to remind my students that in their spare time work on things like the Facebook graph search, to remind them, guys, it's not just about digital, it's not just about apps, it's about the interaction of human beings. And it will always be. Well, maybe if I can keep it to 5 minutes, I have 1 minute to tell you, maybe there's more than the humans, but for the moment, it's humans. And humans tend to live in groups. They are part of a social system. And even if they are not in a group, they are in an environment. They are part of an ecosystem. So it's always about ecosystems. And this is what I love about service design, because service design is one of the few design disciplines that actually takes the ecosystem into account and puts it at the core of everything they do. Designing the interactions in those ecosystems, and no matter what it is, it can be a social ecosystem, it can be a technology ecosystem, and putting the humans at the core. Because every kind of technology is just a mediator of human-human interaction. There's no system, no artificial system out there that is not driven by human intent. And when we talk about strategy, which is a design practice as well, because it's about like defining problems, setting goals, defining intent, then it's always goals and intents of humans. So, this is why the human-centered design practice of service design has yet one big leap to make, which is to all this wonderful stuff, all these wonderful tool sets and methodologies that we are developing and that we are always iterating on, as that's what we do as designers. We always synthesize not only insights, we also synthesize tools and methods all the time. We are doing, in some respect, a wonderful job applying that to creating new markets and creating wonderful products, services, product and service ecosystems. But there's one big missing link, and this is applying it to the organizations that we are working in, applying it to our colleagues, and applying it to ourselves. I usually tell my students is that you can evaluate a design method in terms of if it's a good or a bad design method or a meaningful design method, if you could apply the method in your private life, with a simple problem in your private life. And most of the problems in private lives are human interaction related as well. You have an issue with your bank, you want to get a higher line of credit. It's interacting with a system that is driven by human intent. You have problems with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. there might be an interesting human-centered design method that helps you to frame the problem and then find an applicable solution. You are laughing. I had a lot of conversations where you told me like, but that's what we do for work. That's not what we do when we are off work. And I say, well, no. We always do it because we are humans and we design all the time, even if we don't think about it. So, you know Paul Watzlawick, right? You cannot not communicate. So I say, you cannot not interact. So you are basically you are a service designer of your own life. And this is one of the, I think, of the links between the scientific and academic area, the strategy practice, and actually design practice of actually creating the artifact. That all of them are part of the same ecosystem of goal-directed, human-centered design systems. So, and always remind yourself that you're like, whatever you're doing, you're always doing something, and you really want to do it with intent. And one last notion is go out and cross-pollinate. If you're in a commercial design practice, cross-pollinate with academic practices. For me, like having a management consultancy practice and a teaching practice has been proven to be unbelievably fruitful and insightful, especially working with like the next generation designers. They are amazing young people out there, and they can give you some fantastic insight, and they are always looking for interesting challenges.